Alrighty, hello. My name is Eli King. I am a rising senior at Virginia Tech, and I'm majoring in environmental policy and planning. So just to share a little bit more about myself. Growing up, I spent most of my time moving around due to my dad being in the military, but most of my childhood was spent in Glen Ellen, which is a suburb outside of Chicago. I think it's roughly like 45-ish minutes outside. And then my family moved to Palmyra, Virginia, which is kind of outside, 30 minutes outside Charlottesville, about 3 years ago. Then also, my freshman year, I was actually at the University of Oregon before transferring over to Virginia Tech my sophomore year and on. And so, kind of what interests me about this class, like I said before, growing up outside Chicago, my dad spent a lot of time commuting from kind of our suburb on the train to his office, and then also we were able to visit the city a good amount. Um, so from when I was a kid, all the way up until these past couple summers and winters, I've been able to kind of come back and spend some time in the city with some hometown friends. And then additionally, kind of due to what my major and what it entails, I've had a kind of interest in green infrastructure and the implementation of sustainable landscaping within kind of our modern cities. And then also the policy aspects with my past in kind of these policy focused classes has introduced me to the kind of complexity of policymaking and also that process kind of timeline. So I just kind of want to learn more about the policymaking process within the cities and how it kind of differs from the smaller towns that I've learned of, like Blacksburg. For what I hope to gain from this course, I just kind of want to gain a further insight and background on city functions. I know kind of their complex systems, but just kind of want to learn also how they're evolving to adjust to the modern needs that we continue to face day in day. Oftentimes with classes like this and other classes that I've taken at Tech or Oregon that are kind of applicable to day-to-day life or like future events, I think it's really interesting to utilize them. So, for example, if I just visited nearby cities after taking this course or during taking this course, um, I'm kind of excited to see how it'll give me a new perspective or viewpoint when I'm visiting or learning about them, whether it be this course or other courses. So kind of my experience living in or visiting cities, like I had said before, I didn't live directly in a city, but we were kind of outside Chicago. And though I do feel like a lot of time we did visit was kind of two more like touristy areas like the Shed Aquarium, Planetarium, Museum of Science and Industry, and all those, and additionally sports games and stuff like that. So I do wonder how these kind of experiences are different from day to day, kind of like inner city life and events. But this past, I believe it was winter, I was able to spend some time with one of my friends who lives in the city, and we had a fun time kind of navigating through it, especially on the public transportation with the buses and trains and stuff. So that was really interesting. Regarding how I feel about group work for this class, I kind of sort of suppose I'd be up to it. Like others have stated on the Padlet, it's kind of difficult with like the online nature of the course to communicate. So I'd be more inclined to work solo. And I kind of had an idea of like working more solo and then maybe collaborating on like a couple assignments where having a group and collaboration would be beneficial for like completion and comprehension and kind of benefit the quality of the assignment. Um, and then for imagining a city in 2046, it's 2046, and the mayor and leaders of Arlington, Texas was one that I chose. Just announced a transit-focused developmental project with a focus in transit-oriented development. And so kind of I did this in response to the city kind of being void of any form of public transportation, despite its large and growing population, alongside the growing population of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then also the environmental concerns and kind of potential future shifts from more gas-powered vehicles to electric and public transportation. And then I also kind of picked the city due to its non-existent transportation structure, despite it being near these other cities. In Texas that do have, although not a very fleshed out public transportation system. Those kind of have some form of one, but this one doesn't. So I think maybe it could be difficult to kind of navigate this project due to um, the maybe political kind of perspectives and just history of public transportation in that area. Yeah, thank you.